First question for you, Congressman. Where are you? Are you safe?
I am, as far as I know. I'm following Capitol Police protocols, and I'm not in the Capitol building, and I've been advised not to give any more specific information about where I am, but I'm safe. Thanks.
Have you heard? Is Capitol Police, are they concerned for the safety of lawmakers?
Well, I'm sure they are. What we've seen in terms of the video is that many of these protesters are not intimidated at all by the police, that they're willing to engage in hand-to-hand combat, if you will. And so I think everybody should be afraid at this point.
Where do you see this going? Do you think police are getting this under control? Do you think this will end soon, or are you afraid this is just the beginning?
Well, it's a good question, and I understand that there is a National Guard unit that's being called to help. I suspect that before the night's through, because the D.C. mayor has imposed a 6 p.m. curfew, that the crowds will be dispersed at least by that time. The question is going to be when we can resume the process of certifying the election, or whether, which I hope is the case, that this group of Republicans decide that it's not worth it to consider a both pointless and seditious exercise, which is what they're doing right now.
Are you confident that those who are outside, who are trying to get into the Capitol or getting into the Capitol, are Trump supporters, and that they're not other groups trying to imitate who they are to cause more problems?
No, I think it's pretty clear. I mean, I saw some of these people walking around earlier today. Most of them are identified as Trump supporters one way or another, and they were riled on earlier by the president on the ellipse when he spoke to them, and pretty much right after that they marched to the Capitol. I don't think there's any question that these are Trump supporters.
Have you talked to other members of Kentucky's congressional delegation? Have you talked to Mitch McConnell today?
I have not. I've not talked to any of the other delegation. I really haven't talked to many members. We were evacuated once, and I was talking to a couple of members whom I know, both Republicans and Democrats, but not part of the Kentucky delegation. So I'm assuming everyone is safe. And I would hope that Senator McConnell would make a renewed attempt to have these senators not proceed with this pointless exercise that they're engaged in. He gave a very impressive speech earlier today, in which he made the case for accepting the results of the election, and I hope his Republican members in the Senate listen to him this time.
What would your message be to President Trump at this hour?
I really don't think there'd be any point in talking to President Trump. He has shown an unwillingness to listen to even people who are closest to him. What I would say, if he would listen, is that you are betraying the oath of your office once more. That you're not necessarily responsible for all this violence, but you have encouraged it in many ways, and that if you had any shame at all, you would right now make a statement saying that this is not appropriate in the United States of America.
When you look at what's going on and you try to get an eye on the future, we're just looking at the moment and wondering whether this is going to settle or whether this is part of something bigger that's going to happen. What does your gut tell you? People will see this around the world, and they'll see images from the United States that they would expect from other countries, but not this republic. Is this the end of the republic, or is this just a road bump, a blip as we move forward towards January 20th?
Well, this is a heartbreaking day and a heartbreaking experience. And as someone who really got interested in politics when I watched JFK's inaugural speech and thought how wonderful it was that we were a model to the world and that JFK would be an example to the world. And I think what the world is thinking now, it breaks my heart. I don't think it's the end of the republic. I think it more vividly than at any other time demonstrates how vulnerable our republic is and how fragile it is. And I would hope that that the country looks at this and essentially, to the extent they can, ostracizes the people who are engaged in this. Because this is clearly this was a revolution. I mean, these people are revolutionaries. They are not just advocates. They are not partisans. They are trying to destroy the United States of America, and they need to be reviled by everyone else in the country.
Congressman, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Stay safe.
Okay, Chris. Thanks. Take care.